What if a monster has been hiding in plain sight for over 1,500 years? Deep in the dark, cold waters of Scotland's Loch Ness, something mysterious has captured human curiosity for generations. You've heard the stories, seen the blurry photos, and probably wondered if the Loch Ness monster is real or just a myth. In this video, we'll break down where the legend began, why people still believe, and what science really says about it today. So hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon because the truth might be deeper than you think. The ancient origins. Before the cameras started flashing and the newspapers started printing wild stories, there was something far more intriguing happening in Scotland's waters. The legend of the Loch Ness monster doesn't actually begin in the 1930s, as many people think. In fact, it goes back to 565 AD, when St. Columba supposedly encountered something extraordinary in the water near Inverness. According to ancient accounts, St. Columba came across a man being attacked by what locals described as a water beast. The creature had dragged the man underwater, and it seemed like nothing could save him. But Columba, undeterred by the danger, waded into the water and made the sign of the cross. He commanded the creature to stop, saying, "Go no further, do not touch the man, go back at once." Remarkably, according to the records, the beast obeyed. It halted as if it had been pulled back with ropes and retreated into the depths of the loch. Whether you believe in the supernatural elements of this story or not, it reveals something fascinating. People have been reporting encounters with something strange in these waters for well over 1,000 years. But it wasn't until the early 20th century that the modern obsession with Nessie truly began. In 1933, a simple newspaper article would spark a phenomenon that would transform the quiet Scottish loch into a global mystery. The modern mystery. The story that launched 1,000 theories happened on July 22, 1933, when a couple named George and Margaret Spicer were driving along the newly upgraded road that ran alongside Loch Ness. They described seeing something that would seem almost impossible to most people. They claimed to have witnessed an enormous creature cross the road in front of their vehicle. The description was haunting: a large body, roughly 4 feet high and 25 feet long, attached to a long, wavy, narrow neck that was slightly thicker than an elephant's trunk. When their account was published in the Courier newspaper on August 4, 1933, something remarkable happened. The story captured people's imaginations in a way that nothing had before. Suddenly, everyone around Loch Ness seemed to have a story to tell. Reports started flooding in from all over. It wasn't just one person or two people claiming to see something extraordinary anymore. Dozens of witnesses came forward with their own accounts. The newspaper even gave it a proper name: the Loch Ness Monster, or as the affectionate locals call it, Nessie. What makes this moment so significant is that it marked the beginning of what we might call the modern Nessie era. The construction of that new road had brought workers and tourists to an area that had previously been relatively isolated, giving more people the chance to potentially see something. Whether that was a coincidence or not remains one of the central questions in the entire mystery. Famous encounters. One of the most intriguing encounters happened in January 1934, just months after the Spicer sighting. A young veterinary student named Arthur Grant was riding his motorcycle home after midnight when he nearly collided with something on the road. Grant described a creature with a small head on a long, serpentine neck pointing directly at him. In that split second, he realized he wasn't looking at any ordinary animal. The creature took fright at his headlight, made 2 massive bounds across the road, and plunged into Loch Ness with a tremendous splash that Grant claimed sent water everywhere. What makes Grant's account interesting is that he was a university student studying veterinary medicine, not some random wanderer. He was willing to describe the creature in detail to newspapers, and he even produced sketches. He called it a cross between a seal and a plesiosaur, describing features like large oval-shaped eyes, front flippers, rounded ridges on its back, and a long tail. Then there's the 1952 encounter that many researchers consider one of the most convincing sightings on record. Greta Finley was enjoying a caravan holiday with her 13-year-old son Harry when at precisely noon, They witnessed something extraordinary. From their position near Alduri Pier, they observed what Greta described as having a neck held erect that was about 15 feet long. Where the neck met the water, it enlarged to join a bulky body. She noted something almost surreal. The skin looked black and shiny, reminiscent of a snail more than anything else. In more recent times, we've had encounters captured on film. In 1960, British cryptozoologist Tim Dinsdale recorded something moving in the water that was later analyzed by the Joint Air Reconnaissance Intelligence Center. They concluded the object was probably animate, meaning it was likely a living creature. However, skeptics have suggested it could have been anything from a submarine to a log. What do we really know? Scientists have actually conducted serious investigations into the mystery of Loch Ness, and their findings might surprise you. In 2018, an international team of researchers led by geneticist Neil Gemmell from the University of Otago in New Zealand decided to solve this mystery once and for all using modern DNA analysis. They collected 250 water samples from various depths throughout Loch Ness. The idea was simple but brilliant. If a large creature was living in that water, it would leave traces of its DNA. What they found was fascinating. They identified approximately 3,000 species in the loch, most of them microscopic organisms you could never see. But here's the crucial part. They found no evidence of a large, unknown creature. They found no reptilian DNA, which essentially rules out the famous plesiosaur theory that so many believers have clung to. You know, the theory that some prehistoric dinosaur somehow survived in this Scottish loch for millions of years. They also found no evidence of giant catfish or sturgeon, which had been proposed by some enthusiasts. However, they did find one thing that the researchers found significant: massive quantities of eel DNA. This discovery has led to what might be the most plausible explanation for many of the sightings. Some researchers propose that people might be seeing giant eels, creatures that are far more mundane than a prehistoric monster but still genuinely impressive in size. Most eels grow to about 4 to 6 feet long, but the theory suggests that some specimens in the loch could be considerably larger than normal. The most famous piece of evidence for Nessie, the iconic 1934 surgeon's photograph, was eventually proven to be a complete hoax. In the 1990s, researchers discovered that the photograph wasn't taken by Dr. Robert Kenneth Wilson at all. It turned out to be an elaborate prank created with a toy submarine and plastic wood by big game hunter Marmaduke Wetherill, who was trying to get revenge after falling for an earlier hoax involving footprints made with a hippopotamus leg umbrella stand. Both Wetherill's son and son-in-law eventually confessed to the deception. So, after all the stories, sightings, and science, what do you think? Is the Loch Ness monster real, or just a legend that refuses to die? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like it, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any updates. Thanks for watching.